Friends, colleagues, fellow travelers on this often arduous journey we call life, have you ever found yourself utterly spent, your spirit heavy, your very bones aching, with a weariness that sleep simply cannot touch? Perhaps you've walked through valleys so deep, so shadowed, that your heart whispered, "Does anyone truly see me? Does anyone comprehend the silent battles I wage?" If that resonates, if a quiet yes echoes in your soul, then lean in, because I have a truth for you today that will pierce through the exhaustion and ignite a flicker of audacious hope. Without a shadow of a doubt, the divine, all-knowing presence that governs the cosmos sees you and knows your fatigue. It counts every tear you've shed when no human eye was watching. And it remembers every single night you've lain awake, tossing and turning, desperately praying for a sign, a breakthrough, a blessed moment of relief. And I promise you with unwavering conviction that presence has not and will not turn its face away. It is with you right now, in this very moment. There's a profound sacredness woven into your weariness, a quiet holiness embedded in your struggle. Because the divine doesn't abandon the weary. It meets them precisely where they are. It strengthens them. It uplifts them with an unstoppable, mighty hand. Understand this, my friend. What you are carrying is not invisible to the heavens above. Every single sigh that escapes your lips reverberates through the courts of glory. Every whisper of desperation you've ever uttered is etched indelibly upon the very heart of the Creator. You may feel tired, profoundly so, but let me assure you, you are absolutely not forgotten. You might feel weak, utterly drained, yet you are still held securely. You may believe you're at the very end of your own resources, but you are never at the end of infinite mercy. The world, with its relentless demands, screams at you to keep grinding, to hustle harder, to never stop, to push past every limit. I stand before you today to offer a radical, liberating alternative. Stop. Not in defeat, but in a powerful act of surrender. Stop striving in your own limited strength and begin kneeling. Not in weakness, but in the boundless, unstoppable power that comes from a higher source. When you are tired, utterly exhausted, prayer is not merely your last resort. It is your first, most potent weapon. It's not a faint whisper dissipating into the void. It's a resonant cry that moves the very heart of the divine. When the weight of life becomes unbearable, when the burden feels too immense to carry another step, drop to your knees. Lift your voice to the heavens, for the one who intricately formed you knows precisely how to restore you, how to mend every broken piece. We often crave instant gratification, don't we? We want answers immediately, healing now, breakthroughs today. Yet, the universe doesn't operate on our impatient timelines. It works on a divine schedule, one governed not by our urgency, but by perfect, timeless wisdom. And in that period of waiting, in the quiet moments of seeming inactivity, something profound is happening. And in the silence, you are being shaped, pruned, and meticulously prepared for what's to come. Just because you don't see immediate movement doesn't mean the divine is dormant. Just because you don't feel an instant breakthrough doesn't mean it's absent. On the contrary, it is working tirelessly in the background, orchestrating details you cannot even begin to comprehend. And in this process, it calls you not to panic, not to strive, but to simply pray, wait, and trust. Trust, my friends, is not passive resignation. It is a bold, unwavering faith in the very character of the divine. It is standing firmly on timeless promises, even when your world feels like it's crumbling around you. It's the profound belief that the one who began a good work within you will be faithful, absolutely faithful, to complete it. It is declaring, even as you walk through the deepest, darkest valleys, that you will fear no evil, for the divine presence is with you, always. Trust means that even when you don't fully understand the path, you will still obey. Even when you don't feel strong, you will still stand firm. Even when your most heartfelt prayers seem to go unanswered, you will still defiantly believe. You might be saying, "But I've prayed, nothing has changed." Oh, but something has changed. Something monumental. You are still here. You are still seeking, still holding on. You haven't given up. And that, my dear friends, is irrefutable evidence that grace is sustaining you, carrying you through. The divine has not brought you this far only to abandon you. It has not poured into your spirit only to let you fall. When you are tired, your greatest weapon is not your own will. It is your worship. Worship even when it aches. Worship when you simply don't understand. Worship when the tears freely fall. Because worship, true worship, breaks chains. Worship shifts atmospheres. Worship invites the tangible, life-giving presence of the living spirit into your weary soul. I know many of you are navigating incredibly challenging seasons. Broken homes, wayward loved ones, relentless financial strain, sickness that saps your energy. The voice of doubt, the whisper of the adversary, wants you to believe you've been forgotten, abandoned. But the adversary is a liar. The very fact that you are under such attack signifies your immense value, the precious something within you that the enemy seeks to destroy. Yet, a divine hedge of protection surrounds you. Promises have been spoken over your life that no force can cancel, and the work within you is far from finished. When exhaustion threatens to overwhelm, lean into these promises. Open yourself to divine wisdom, not as a rigid ritual, but as a lifeline. Let truth breathe fresh life into your very bones. Let it remind you of who you are and whose you are. You are not a victim. You are victorious through grace. You are not forsaken. You are chosen, called, and dearly loved. You are not alone. The divine walks with you, even through the hottest fires, promising that when you pass through the waters, they will not sweep over you. And when you walk through the flames, you will not be burned. Understand this profound truth. Rest is not a sign of weakness. It is a weapon of the righteous. The concept of rest was not designed as a burden, but as a sacred gift, a rhythm for thriving. Even the Creator, after immense work, rested. Why then do we believe we must carry more than intended? Why do we equate slowing down with giving up? Sometimes, the most spiritual, most impactful thing you can do is simply to rest. Lay your burdens down. Breathe deeply. Let the divine carry what you were never meant to hold. The reason for your exhaustion may not be that you're doing too much, but that you're attempting to do it without a higher power. The burden of being your own provider, your own defender, your own savior is simply too much for any human soul to bear. You were never meant to be all-sufficient. You were created for profound dependence. When you relinquish control, you create sacred space for divine power to surge. When you let go, the divine steps in. When you humbly admit, "I cannot do this without you," that is precisely when your weakness becomes a conduit for invincible strength. I know waiting is agonizing. I know trusting when everything seems to be falling apart feels foolish. But faith,
True faith isn't based on what we see. It's anchored in unwavering truth. And the truth is this: the divine has never failed, and it will not start with you.
Look back at your life. How many times have you been rescued? A way made where there seemed to be no path. How many dead ends transformed into doorways of blessing? You weren't brought through the last storm just to drown in this one. What begins, finishes. What is authored is perfected. What is ordained is empowered. There is a power in prayer that no darkness can silence. There is a strength in waiting that the world cannot comprehend. And then there is a peace in trusting that surpasses all human understanding. You may be walking through a dark night of the soul, but morning is coming. The sun will rise again. Joy will return. Healing will manifest. Restoration will break forth like the dawn. But until then, pray. Pour out your heart before the divine. Wait, stand still, and witness salvation unfold. And trust. Rest your weary soul in the unfailing goodness of a loving, powerful presence. So, whatever you are facing right now, take a deep breath and declare, with every fiber of your being, I trust you. Say it again and again until your soul fully believes it. Because the divine is trustworthy, faithful, and profoundly present. The same power that parted seas, calmed storms, fed multitudes, and conquered the grave is walking with you now. It has not failed, and it will not fail. Pray with the expectation of heaven's answer. Wait with the patience of one who knows that the divine is never late. Trust the boldness of a lion, for the ultimate power fights for you. You may be tired, but the divine is your strength. You may be weary, but the divine is your rest. You may be broken, but the divine is your healer. And when you pray, wait and trust. Heaven moves, the earth shakes, and your soul finds a peace that no human, no enemy, no circumstance can ever take away. This season of exhaustion is not a sign of abandonment. It is a divine invitation to come closer. Closer than you've ever been. Sometimes the pressure increases not to crush you, but to draw the precious essence out of you. Just as the olive must be pressed to release its oil, just as grapes must be crushed to yield their sweetness, you too are being refined under pressure, so that divine anointing may flow more freely through your life. There is glory in your groaning, power. Do not despise this place of fatigue. It may very well be the birthplace of your greatest breakthrough. So now, in this sacred moment, with the weight of every word echoing in your heart, I challenge you. Don't just hear this message. Live it.
Don't let these profound truths pass by like wind through the trees. Let them settle deep into the soil of your spirit. Let them take root.
Let them profoundly transform the way you perceive your struggle.
You are not here by accident.
You did not stumble across this message by chance.
This is a divine appointment. Heaven is calling you closer, not to empty religion, not to exhausting performance, but to a holy relationship, a deeper walk, a truer surrender, a faith that isn't built on fleeting feelings, but on an unshakable character.
Look at your life with fresh eyes.
Ask yourself, have I been trying to carry what only the divine can hold?
Have I been so consumed with finding answers that I've neglected the one who is the answer? If you are tired, utterly drained, it is time to come home.
Come back to the heart of worship. Come back to the place where your strength is not your own. Come back to the open, waiting arms of a loving Father who knows your pain, who sees your tears, who longs not for your perfection, but for your simple, beautiful presence. This is your moment of return. Let this be the hour you choose trust over torment. Let this be the day you fall into grace, not guilt. Let this be the moment you say, with humble conviction, I don't understand everything. But I give you everything. Let go of the fear. Lay down the pride. Surrender the timelines, the expectations, and all the broken pieces, and place them into the hands of the one who formed you, who numbers your days, who has carved your name on the palm of their hand. They have never once failed to be faithful, and they will not start with you.
When you rise from this moment, rise changed. Rise lighter. Rise knowing that the divine walks with you, not just on the mountaintops, but deep in the valleys. Not just in the bright light, but through the darkest night.
This is your turning point.
Your weariness is not your identity. Your fatigue is not your future. Your pain is not permanent. You are being made new.
You are rising in the power of the one who conquered the grave. So pray, wait, and trust, not as a passive mantra, but as a war cry. Because you are in a battle, but you are not fighting alone. You are surrounded by unseen support, covered by boundless grace, and empowered by an indwelling spirit. The victory is already secured, not because of who you are, but because of who that divine presence is. Let the weary declare, I am strong. Let the broken proclaim, I am whole. Let the waiting affirm, I am held. And let every soul, in the midst of their storm, declare with trembling hands and steady hearts, even now, I will trust. Because that kind of faith, raw, real, deeply rooted, is what moves heaven and crushes hell. This moment is holy. This weariness is sacred, for it has brought you face to face with the one who holds all things together. So, hold on. You are closer than you think.
The shift is coming. The answer is near. And when it comes, you will not boast in your own strength, but in the unwavering faithfulness of the divine. You will not say, look what I endured, but look what the Lord has done. And it will be glorious. This is your time. Step into it with courage, with faith, with an open heart. The best is yet to come.